The law of Moses is only designed to go for a little ways. How far does Jesus' way go? It goes all the way to that final destination in heaven. There are no more stops. There are no more school teachers to get us to the final goal. There are no more bus drivers to get us to and fro. We're on the last stretch of God's road. Adam and Eve were on the beginning. Moses and Aaron and Joshua were in the middle. Paul, Peter, John, those guys started us off on the last legs, and we're still driving. And it will go all the way to that final destination in heaven. Moses couldn't say that about the law that God gave him. Abraham couldn't say that about the law that God had given him, but we can. When Jesus says, I am the way, that way goes all the way, as far as it goes, to reach the final destination. What's this way made of? You ever stop and think about what you're driving on? I prefer a nice, smooth asphalt highway. Parts of Interstate 55 through northeast Arkansas will knock your teeth out. Grew up on a gravel road. Was up in the city the other day for something. There are a lot of potholes. Asphalt, gravel, concrete, dirt. What's the road made out of? When Jesus said, I am the way, well, what kind of way is it? It's a way paved with blood and with light. And I don't know that we necessarily stop and think about that a whole lot. If we walk in the light, 1 John 1:7, as he is in the light, we have fellowship one with another. And the blood of Jesus Christ, his Son, cleanses us from all sin. When we talk about Jesus says, I am the way, that is a way that is paved with blood. It is paved with light. We have to walk in the light. We have to constantly be in the blood of Christ. With that fellowship with him to continue on. How do we know that we're on the right road? What's it made out of? Are you still walking in the light? Well, then you're on the right track. Are you still in the blood of Christ? Well, you're still on the right road. If you ever find yourself on a way that doesn't contain light or the blood of Christ, then you're on the wrong path. Used to live on a gravel road. I would say, hey, turn off the paved road onto the gravel road. Somebody called, Josh, we're almost at your house. You on the gravel road? No, you're not here yet. The makeup and the consistency of the road is something that we need to take into consideration because it lets us know if we're supposed to be where we're at. How do you get on this road that goes all the way to heaven, that's paved with the blood of Christ and the light of God? Obedience. Notice Matthew 7:21. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. But he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many will say unto me that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, and in thy name cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? Jesus said, I will profess unto them, depart from me, ye that work iniquity. He said, I never knew you. Whosoever therefore heareth the sayings of mine and doeth them, him will I liken unto a wise man. Because not everyone that says does. And we see that in life, and we see that in the world, and we see that in the church. When we say we're going to do something, we need to do it. Hey, I will go here with you. Or my Tennessee phrase is, I'm in, shut the door. You know how I know you're really going with me? Because you're in and you shut the door. People will say something, or they'll try to go, but what we need to consider is how we get on it is obedience. I can think about going all day long. I can say I'm going to do that all day long, but until I actually do it, I'm not going. We think about that in terms of a diet. I can't tell you the number of times I've thought about losing weight. I can't tell you the number of times I've said I'm going to. You know, I have thought about losing weight, and I've said I'm going to lose weight, but for whatever reason, that scale keeps going up just a little bit every day. Why is that? I've thought about it and said I was going to. It's not until you actually do something about it that it takes effect. The same way is with Jesus' way, with eternal salvation. We have to do what he says. How do we get on it? How do we travel it? All right, I've taken the on-ramp on the salvation. I finally quit thinking and talking about it. I've done it. Well, now how do I travel it? When you go out here and you get on the interstate, right, there's a speed limit. There are rules of the road. You're supposed to use a blinker, right, when you change lanes. If you're driving slower, you're supposed to stay on the right-hand side of the road. There are all these different rules and regulations pertaining to traveling down this particular road. So how do I travel Jesus' way? Once I get on it, once I've taken that on-ramp of obedience and obeyed the gospel of Christ, how do I keep going down this road that goes all the way to heaven that's paved with blood and light? Well, I live faithfully. If you love me, keep my commandments, Jesus says. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, therefore we are always confident, knowing that while we are at home in the body, we are absent for the Lord, for we walk by faith and not by sight. That's how we do it. We walk by faith. We put one foot in front of the other. We stay in the light. We stay inside the blood of Christ, and we faithfully pursue Jesus and his sacrifice and his example. That's how we travel this wonderful, wonderful way. Well, we've kind of hinted at it. But who made it? Did MoDOT make the way to heaven? We used to pave roads when I was a little bit younger. We'd go out and we'd lay asphalt and we'd put roads in town. Did we make the road to heaven? Did the preacher or the elders make the road to heaven? Did the church make the road to heaven? Some places you go, they tell you they did. Here are what we say you need to do to go to heaven. That means they made that road. Friends, there's only two roads. One leads to life, one leads to death. Jesus made the one. I am the way. And we talked about this morning how he was the one to set the anchor through his death, Philippians chapter 2. Jesus is the way. I am not the way. The church, the elders, the world, your boss, your coach, they are not the way. Jesus established this road. If he built it, and it's his blood that paved it, who gets responsibility for making the rules of the road? You ever heard that phrase, that's my way or the highway? In this case, it is his way and the highway. You want to travel it, you go according to his rules. Flip on the news, though. So many people in the world disagree with Jesus' way, and they want to modify it. Every time you modify his way, you build an on-ramp into the other way. And I hope that nobody desires to travel in that direction. Jesus says, I am the way. He is the way and the highway. If you don't like that, and you don't decide to live according to that, you're on another road. That's only two possible choices. Jesus made this road. Why? Anytime you do something, there needs to be a reason behind it. You don't go out and build a road just because you felt like building a road that day. Sometimes we say, oh, well, I was feeling froggy. Why'd you do this? I don't know. I got the feeling froggy. I don't know what that means, but that's what we say sometimes. I got the feeling froggy. Jesus was not feeling froggy. God had a purpose. He sent his only begotten Son who died. And I can't speak for anybody else, but this road was made because I sinned. Josh Robinson committed sin. And Jesus had to die so that I can get to heaven. God commended his love toward us that yet while I was yet a sinner, that's how you really ought to read Romans chapter 5, verse 8. And while I was yet sinning and following the devil, Christ died for me. That's why that road was built, because I sinned. If everybody else in this room in this world was perfect, Jesus had to die for me. That road was paved so I can get to heaven. Paul said, not to me only, but unto all them that love his appearing. because you sinned. Think about that. I don't know if we think about that ever so often. It's not really a pleasant thought, but if everybody else in this world was perfect, Jesus would have still had to die because I'm not. If you're anything like me, you're not. In fact, Paul says we've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Why did Jesus build this road? It took every bit of blood in his body to pave it, to go all the way to heaven. Why? Why did he do that? Because we sinned and fell short of the glory of God. Because we couldn't live up to that example. We needed help. You want me to climb the top of a mountain, I'm not going to be very inclined to do so. You build me a road, I might drive up there. That's what Jesus did. He said, I want you to get to heaven. It's not God's will that any should perish, but that all should come into repentance, and he gave us a mediator, a road builder. He gave us the way. That's why he did it. When was it built? That road was paved on Calvary with the blood of Christ, and that road was opened by the apostles on the day of Pentecost. We do that right. We build a road, and then a week later we have an opening. Make sure everything's working right, and then the governor or the mayor, he comes out with a big pair of scissors, and he opens it up. Jesus paved the road to heaven on the cross of Calvary. Split the veil in the temple, set the anchor beyond the veil. It was ready to go on the day of Pentecost. That highway was open for any and all to come unto it. For you and for generations to come, Peter would say, Acts chapter 2. We get to travel that road today because Jesus paved it all the way back then because it was open. Name me any other stretch of road that's still travelable and free and open and just as easy to use today as it was 2,000 years ago. Could you imagine what 55 would look like if you just let it sit for 2,000 years and came back and tried to drive 70 miles an hour on it? That's what happens with the road that Jesus built, though. It's just as free and as easy and as simple to use the day as it was created. He shed his blood. The apostles unlocked the road. That's when it was built. Why should you get on it? I thought of a few more questions, but I thought 12 points was enough for any sermon. Think about it. We've answered and asked all sorts of questions about the way. How wide is it? Who can travel it? Where is it going from? Where does it come? The most important question, I guess, this evening is why? I don't know, Josh. That's a road that's paved with blood. Does that sound like someplace I want to be? I don't know that I am worthy enough to travel that road. Well, I can understand that. I don't know that anybody is worthy enough to go to heaven, but Jesus died so that we could. It's what we call the grace of God being extended into us. While we were yet sinners, Jesus died for us. He knew what kind of a mess we were, but he wanted us to come anyway. Why? I hope that you want to reach the destination. Now remember, that road goes all the way to heaven, to the resting place of God in Christ. John said, I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men. Don't you want to be there? And he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them, and he shall be their God. Friends, that's where I want to be. I want to be right there. I want to be right there with God. I want to take that road, and I want to get there. Because right there, God wipes away all tears. Just takes them and removes them from our eyes. There will be no more death, neither sorrow, neither cry, neither shall there be any more pain. The former things are passed away. Why wouldn't anybody want to travel a road that goes there? What's it going to cost to get there? Your obedience, living faithfully. We have so many examples in the Bible of people living faithfully. They could do it, you can. I guarantee it. I hope we've asked some good questions along the way that Jesus said. He said, I am the way, and I hope that we've looked at it from every conceivable angle this evening. Are you on the way? The way to heaven or the way to hell? Think about it for a minute. You are on the way to one of those two places right now. You think, well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm sitting right here. You are on your way to heaven and you are on your way to hell right now. You are on one of these two roads. Guaranteed. No doubt about it. No gray areas, no ifs, ands, or buts. Are you on the way which leadeth unto life? Are you one of the few that have found it? Think about it. Which way are you on? You think, well, you know what? I'm not really sure I'm on the way to heaven. Then why? Why leave here with any doubt at all? We've kept it plain and simple. We've used really readily available and well-known verses tonight to highlight what this way is. You can know with 100% assurance when you walk out those doors in a few minutes that you are saved, that you are on the way, walking in the light in the blood of Christ, on the way to heaven where the throne of God is, going somewhere where they'll wipe away all your tears and there'll be no more pain. If you're looking at your life and you think, I'm not on the way to heaven at all, I'm on the way to hell, then why? Why walk out here and say, well, I'm going to fix that next week? You may not have next week. The way of the world is fraught with danger. We're not given tomorrow, James chapter 4. Why leave here knowing you're on the wrong way? There's going to be an invitation in just a moment to get on the right way. Dear Christian, are you walking faithfully? Are you parked on the shoulder, or have you taken a detour? Jesus said, but if we walk in the light. That's what John records for us, 1 John 1:7. Not if we stop in the light, or if we sit in the light, or we got to walk. You only reach your destination if you keep moving forward. If you parked on the shoulder, it's time to put it back in drive. Maybe you need prayers for encouragement. Maybe you've taken a detour. You got on the road and you were traveling faithfully, and for whatever reason, we do that sometimes. Giant fireworks store, exit right. World's biggest ball of yarn, exit right. World's largest number 2 pencil. Well, honey, let's stop. There's a giant Superman statue in Metropolis. Let's pull. You just may be a huge Superman fan, and that just really appeals to you. Satan knows what appeals to you. Let's just take a real quick excursion. When's the last time you took a real quick excursion that stayed a real quick excursion on a road trip? What do they say about sin? It takes you longer than you wanted to go, farther than you wanted to go. It always does. But Satan plans those diversions. He makes it look so appealing. Best apple pie in the state. Well, we got to stop and check that out. Let's just take a detour. If we walk in the light, we can't detour in the darkness. If you have found yourself detouring from the way spiritually, that invitation is also extended to you. If you've just gotten weary and tired and just kind of parked on the shoulder, and you need to get back and be active in Christ, and you need prayers for forgiveness or encouragement, why don't you come forward? If you're not actively going forward on the way that Jesus said he was, then you're on the other road. If you're on the other road and need to make it right, then come now. Together we stand and sing.